Assalamu alaikum dear students. Let's start with the new chapter, that is electrostatics. So, as this topic is nothing new for you because you have already studied this topic in your standard 11. In standard 11, we have seen the Gauss's law, and the statement for the same was the flux of the net electric field through a closed surface equals the net charge enclosed by the surface divided by epsilon naught. That is the statement of the Gauss's law that we have studied in class 11th, and the mathematical expression for the same was that integration of vector of E dot vector of ds, where vector of E is the electric field and vector of ds is the area, is equal to Q upon epsilon naught, that is charge. So as by the statement, the flux of the net electric field. Now what is flux? So flux is nothing but electric flux is electric field, product of electric field and area. So here as you can see that flux is nothing but E dot ds, where ds was the area, and equals the net charge enclosed by the surface. Now what is the net charge? So as we know that the charge always in the electric field was nothing but Q, considered as Q. So here the net, that is the overall charge. So here we have considered this overall charge is nothing but capital Q divided by epsilon naught. So this is the mathematical expression of the Gauss's law. Now after this, we can write instead of E dot ds, as we know that this is the flux. So we can say that flux is Q upon epsilon naught, that is again it is closed integral of vector of E dot vector of ds. So label this as equation number 1. So this statement of Gauss's law we have seen in class 11. What we have to study in class 12, that is the application of the Gauss's law. But before start with the applications of the Gauss's law, we have to see what is the Gaussian surface. So here, Gaussian surface, all the lines of force originating from a point charge penetrate an imaginary three-dimensional surface. The total flux, the same number of lines. Now what is the total flux? So here total flux will be nothing but phi E is equal to Q upon epsilon naught, as we know that flux is nothing but Q upon epsilon naught. The same number of lines of force will cross the surface of any shape. The total flux through both the surfaces is the same. Calculating flux involves calculating integration of vector of E dot vector of ds. Hence, it is convenient to consider a regular surface surrounding the given charge distribution. A surface enclosing the given charge distribution and symmetric about it is Gaussian surface. For example, if we have a point charge, the Gaussian surface will be a sphere. Okay. If the charge distribution is a linear, the Gaussian surface would be a cylindrical. It would be a cylinder with the charges distributed along its axis. Gaussian surface offers convenience of calculating the integral, that is integration of vector of E dot vector of ds. Remember that a Gaussian surface is a purely imaginary and does not exist physically. So this point we have to keep it in our mind. So this is what we have already studied in class 11. Now what topic we have to study in class 12? Let's see this. So here application of Gauss's law. So here we are having three application of the Gauss's law. That is, first, electric field intensity due to uniformly charged sphere, spherical shell or hollow sphere. Second application, electric field intensity due to an infinitely long straight charged wire. And third, electric field due to a charged infinite plane sheet. So in this video lecture, we will discuss only the first application of the Gauss's law, that is electric field intensity due to uniformly charged spherical shell or hollow sphere. So here we have to consider a sphere of radius r with its center at O. As you can see in this diagram, charged to a uniform charge density, that is sigma, and as we know that uniform charge density is nothing but charge upon area. Charge upon area, that is SI unit of the same will be coulomb upon meter square, placed in a dielectric medium of permittivity epsilon. Now as we know that epsilon is nothing but epsilon is equal to epsilon naught K, where small k is the dielectric constant. So the total charge on the sphere will be Q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Now how this Q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square? See, just now I have explained you that sigma, that is the density, is equal to Q upon area. Now as we know that area of any spherical body is nothing but pi r square. So we can say that charge itself is nothing but sigma upon area. So that according to that we are having small q is equal to, if we consider that the charge is small q, so small q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Now by Gauss's theorem, the net flux through a closed surface is phi is equal to q upon epsilon naught. Just now we have seen, and for air or vacuum k is always 1. That is also we have seen and we had studied in the topic electrostatic in class 11th, where q is the total charge inside the closed surface. So finally again let's remember the equation number 1, that is phi is equal to q upon epsilon naught, which is equal to closed integral of vector of E dot vector of ds, where vector of ds is nothing but area. Fine. Now label this as equation number 1. Now what we have to find here, we have to derive an formula for electric field intensity. Fine. Now let's see what are the steps involving here. So let's discuss first that, then we will derive the expression for electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell or hollow sphere. So there is a common steps involved in calculating the electric field intensity by Gauss's theorem. So here first step is what? Describe the charge distribution, that is linear, surface or volume. So just now we have described that. Second step, obtain the flux by Gauss's theorem. So as we have already obtained that. Now third step is to visualize a Gaussian surface and justify it. Fourth is what? With the electric field intensity E as unknown, obtain electric flux by calculation using geometry of structure, and let's this equation be B. Now fifth step is equate right hand side of equation A and equation B and calculate E. So these are some common steps involving in the calculation of electric field intensity by using Gauss's theorem. So let's jump to the jump to our main derivation. So here, as we are having our equation number 1 with us, now to find the electric field intensity at a point P at a distance small r from the center of the charged sphere, imagine a concentric Gaussian sphere of radius small r passing through point P. Let ds be a small area around the point P on the Gaussian surface due to symmetry and sphere being concentric. The electric field at each point on the Gaussian surface has the same magnitude E, capital E, and it is directed radially outward. Also, the angle between the direction of E and the normal to the surface of the sphere ds is 0. That is cos theta is equal to 0. Now see, therefore, let's consider the right hand side of the equation number 1, that is RHS is nothing but vector of E dot vector of ds. So as if we take the magnitude of this part, so it will be E ds cos theta. So finally, as we know that cos theta is 0, that is cos 0 is nothing but 1. So finally we can say that E dot E ds. Now as you can see in the diagram, theta is the angle between E and the normal drawn as ds. So as you can see here, there is a angle between them is 0. So that's why finally we can say that this is nothing but EDS. Now as we know that the flux, that is d phi through a area ds. Now ds is what? A small area. So but obvious,